Hello and welcome. My name is Delci. I'm founder of A Life of Heritage, and I just want to welcome you to my channel. So this last week, I had a goat that was sick, and I had to figure out what was wrong with her. And as you probably know, if you own goats, it's sometimes hard to figure out. It's sometimes hard to get to the bottom of what's really going on. You find your goat sick. What is it? What's it mean? What do you do? So come along with me as I go about figuring out what was wrong with my goat and what I do about it. I encourage you, if you haven't already, to sign up for the free anemia course that the 3 goat ladies put together. It is invaluable. You have to know how to treat your goats for anemia. It's something you'll most likely at some point in your goat herd life that you will need to potentially treat for, and it is serious. You can lose your goat from anemia and you need to know how to treat it. So take just a second to sign up for that course. It's free and you can go through it. It doesn't take much time and you can get yourself put together to get this figured out and to be able to treat it and prevent it. The most important goat tool, your thermometer. So I woke up this morning, started my day like normal. I went out to milk my goats, and my dear Eva is not doing well. And so I know this because I know my goats, and you know your goats. You know when your goats feel sick. So she is not eating. She is standing off by herself. She wouldn't come in to milk, and she wouldn't, and actually I did get her into the barn, but then she wouldn't get up on the milk stand, which is highly abnormal because there's grain up there. And so I took, the first thing you always do when your goat is sick is take their temperature. So her temperature is it's at about 100 degrees, a little over. And right now though, it is really cold out. So that is something to take into account when you're, if it's a really hot day and your goats come in from the field and their temperature is a little high, that can be normal because it's hot out, or when it's really cold. So right now it's 25 degrees and has a feels like temperature of 12. So it's actually fairly warm considering this time of year. But it does have a slight low temperature. So after taking the temperature, I checked her eyelids. I have been monitoring her, and I have been giving her, I guess it was last week, I gave her some red cell several days of the week. I think she might be anemic, and so I am going to go out and give her vitamin injectable B. And so that is something that you need to always have on hand and have ready. So in my goat binder, I used my symptom tracker here. So I followed through, and then here is the anemia treatment plan that I'll use, and right next to it is that's the year after the parasite control plan is pneumonia treatment plan. And so this is something that I will be utilizing as well if I believe that it's actually pneumonia. So this is so important to have on hand. All I have to do is go back here to the medications A to Z pages, find my vitamin B12, and I know that I need what I need to administer. So this is invaluable in times like this. Okay, so I have this ready, and we need to go out now and give Eva her shot. So she's the closest one here. So she did go back out to join the others, and that's a good sign. If you ever find a goat off alone, that is one indication. They're a herd animal, and they don't like to be alone. So she is at least out here with the others. She's worried I'm going to give her another shot, but just a minute ago she was chewing her cud, and that's a really good sign too. But I'm going to take her temperature again because that is such an important indicator of what's going on. And so we're going to just check this to make sure that her temp is good. And yeah, it's already at 101.2, and that's really encouraging. So 101.2. So I'm really encouraged that in the last hour her temperature has gone up. I see her over here. She is looking through the food and starting to eat it. That's a really good sign. And a bit ago I heard her rumen kind of moving. She was burping up and then she was chewing her cud. That is also excellent. So I have a feeling that this isn't pneumonia. I'm going to keep an eye on her though, but I have given her the vitamin B12 and I will probably give her that for several days now, and then we'll go to probably once a week after that, with also giving the red cell. So I'm following my treatment plan in my goat binder to do this. Now it's really important to break down. Sometimes with goats it's really hard to figure out what's wrong. You have a sick goat, what is wrong with it? And you really have to be watching symptoms. You have to be really observant and trying to really just get down to the base of what the problem really is. You know, with her, when I've looked at her poop, it's normal poop. It hasn't been any problems with that. And we're in the middle of winter right now, so our egg cycle, or the worm cycle, is kind of shut down, which is kind of nice. So it's a good thing that the worm cycle is stopped. I like that about living in cold climates, but I haven't done a fecal egg count on her, and that probably would be a good idea, because when you have a goat that's sick, a lot of times you can break it down that, you know, they have worms. So they get worms, their body is weakened by that, they get anemia and they're weakened by that, and then they get pneumonia or there's other diseases that they can get as well, sicknesses that they can get. But it all comes down to the fact that they are wormy. So always keep that in mind, but don't overworm your goats either. I mean, do your due diligence to really know if they have worms or not, and then treat from there. When a goat goes off a feed, the body will stop producing thiamine, and that is serious. And so that is something to watch. And when a goat is off feed, you will give them some thiamine. If it's anemia, the vitamin B12. And so you can help your goat out immensely by just watching them, knowing what's going on, and then acting quickly. Starting to have some interest in the hay, so that's a really good sign. I like to see that. There's our Eva girl.
This is her sister.
Her sister, huh? She's eating with her sister. Yeah.
Our goats are good.
Our goats are good, aren't they? You like
Sweet.
our goats?
Yeah. I love to play with them. We're not the naughty oats.
Shadow.
Goat.
You don't like the Billy. You don't like Shadow.
Yeah. He chases.
He chases you.
Yeah, and he's mean.
Yeah. All right. Well, Eva, I'm glad you're feeling better. It's good that you're eating. I'll come back in a bit and check on you, okay? I found a bunch of sleepy goats. I did. I found a bunch of sleepy goats. Is it really that bad? You guys. Feels good to be out in the sun, doesn't it? You guys are funny. So Eva is doing much better after this week of treatment. You know, I did end up warming her, and so I will, in my goat binder, I wrote down the date that she was wormed, and then I will worm her again in 10 days. So that'll kill the worms that are are active. The 10 days allows for the worm eggs to hatch, and then that second dose kills those eggs. So that's an important part of this that you need to remember. So I did worm her. And then I did continue giving her the fortified B injections. And so I did give them under the skin. I gave them on, because I knew that I would be giving them for several days in a row, and that's kind of hard because your goat kind of becomes a pincushion. So I did give them in different spots on each side of her neck, and then behind her front legs as well, and in the flaps of skin back there. So sub-Q is subcutaneous, which means you pull the skin away and you insert the needle inside that flap of skin, or the tent that you just pulled up, and you just need to make sure that you don't stick that needle through the skin so you're like poking all the way through, because otherwise the what you're putting in will just squirt out the other side. And then you sometimes with this, you need to be making sure you're giving the shot down so that the liquid isn't flowing out once you're done. And excuse you, Faith, that was rude. Oh dear. Goats, they need to learn manners. Okay, so subcutaneous just means under the skin. I will actually keep monitoring her. I have to, with anemia, it's a slow process to build up those levels again, and so it's important that I don't just forget about this. I will keep giving her some injections probably once a week. We'll see how she is going, and then even the red cell will be a part of this as well. And every day I am mailing off goat binders, and this is so exciting to me because I know that it's getting the information needed into your hands. So if you have not ordered your goat binder yet, please do. It is, I believe, an essential part of your goat management system.